All right guys, checking back in. This is the second video in the Skinny Waist Fat Wallet Challenge 2018. I started, my initial weigh-in was 187 on April 4th. Checking in now, it is April 17th. Lowest recorded weigh-in is 183. So we are on the right track here. Today I wanted to talk just a little bit about my thoughts with regards to the workouts that I'm doing. My goal is, first of all, let's increase our baseline activity. So I think that one of the problems with being very optimized in all these other aspects of your life, the amazing thing is you reclaim all of this time, right? So you've reclaimed maybe 5, 6, 7 hours of just open time in your life. What are you doing with that? The average American watches 5 hours of television every single day. It's crazy. For me, that kind of is what I would want to do to some degree. I mean, if I'm not really thinking about it, I enjoy watching Netflix. I enjoy binge watching whatever the latest show is on TV. That's the easy choice, but it doesn't serve my health and fitness goals. And isn't that like the ultimate tragedy to have reclaimed all this time and now put it into something as pointless as television? You know, I'm not trying to encourage a TV ban, but I am saying that you are going to have to shift where you put your free time if your objective, your goal over the next 12 weeks is to reclaim your health, reclaim your shape. If you're saying I don't have any time, let's go straight to that and look at whether or not that is sucking it all up. And then now we know what we can focus on. With regards to what I'm actually doing, my baseline is to try to be more active every single day. So a walk with my wife and son is perfect. 30, 40 minutes of just walking around the neighborhood. That is a low level baseline, but that obviously isn't gonna move the needle all by itself to help us transform our body. So with that in mind, now I also like to incorporate 3 to 4 exercise days, which involve some sort of weight-bearing exercises. And I break that up into upper body and lower body. For upper body, this is very easy. So you saw that I have the gym in my home. I can do bench press. That's gonna be these major muscle groups like the chest. And for the back, the opposite of that would be pull-ups. Once you've gotten past those larger muscle groups, we try to get down into the smaller muscle groups. If you're trying to hit them farther, you could do T-bar rows. For the back and for the chest, you could do flies, shoulder press. I mean, there's a million options for chest, especially if you have dumbbells. It gets very easy. And then the smaller muscles like the triceps and the biceps, I usually will follow after that. So triceps dips are amazing. And if I really want to make it more challenging, I can add some weight on top of that. And also for triceps, push-ups are incredible. You just adjust where your hands are to some degree, maybe move them a little bit farther down to put more of an emphasis on your triceps, and you can hit them really, really well. For biceps, obviously anything, bicep curls related. So you could do dumbbells, you could do barbells, really just take your pick and you can come up with a great routine around that. So for lower body though, it's very easy for me to do an upper body workout. Lower body, I'll be honest, I just don't really enjoy it, but I do it because it's so powerful. And in particular, deadlifts. CrossFit has kind of run across the country, and one of their core exercises, not surprisingly, is deadlifts. Just because from an optimization perspective, you would be hard pressed to come up with a single exercise that can engage as many muscles as the deadlift. I don't enjoy it, but I recognize how powerful it is. And if I don't enjoy deadlifts, I loathe squats. I despise them, but I do them because they are such a powerful exercise. It engages, yes, these large muscle groups in your legs, but really it brings your entire core into it and it just speeds up your metabolism. One of the amazing things about doing weight-bearing exercises is that you get this metabolic burn for up to 24 hours after you've done it. So imagine basically just having a better metabolism just because you're putting yourself in this cycle of getting these types of workouts in. It really is incredible. I'm also a big fan of interval training. Brad has encouraged me to do something as simple as run for 30 seconds, walk for 30 seconds, and do 10 repetitions. So that walk is maybe on an incline, or maybe it's just getting your heart rate back under control, and that run is as fast as you can possibly go. If you're on a treadmill, maybe it's somewhere in that 8 to 12 mile an hour range. You're only doing it for 30 seconds, but because you're going back and forth between these two for these 10 repetitions, you will probably be sweating at the end of it, and it will put you in an uncomfortable place, which is kind of what we talk about. What is it like to lean into discomfort a little bit? And I think most of us can say, well, I can be uncomfortable for 10 minutes. That's okay, I can do that. But you can expand it past that. You could do something, let's say that's too hardcore, you could dial it back. You're not running at 10 or 12 miles an hour, but you are maybe walking for 3 minutes, jogging at a slightly higher pace for 3 minutes, going back and forth, and maybe doing that while you're listening to a podcast episode. If you're listening to a podcast and you're just listening to the podcast on the couch, or maybe you say, for this episode that's 40 minutes to an hour long, I'm just gonna force myself to do that in the context of a run. That's what I do. So these are kind of how you stack this. You have your baseline activity, doing activities, going for walks with your family, getting to the park, trying something new, being a more active person in general, and then stagger that with these additional exercises that really force you into an uncomfortable place. It's a very powerful place to position yourself. The only other thing that I do on top of this, that's basically it. The only other thing that I add is that we have the P90X series. It's called P90X Plus. It's marketed as for the P90X graduates. I am not a P90X graduate. I would not claim to be at that level of fitness or to even follow the program that closely. But the advantages are, while P90X used to drift off into the hour plus, hour and a half range, this P90X Plus that I do, it's only 45 minutes long, and it incorporates some of that interval-based training that I was discussing. So it really, really works well for what we want to accomplish, which is to be uncomfortable for a short period of time. And if my wife tries to push me too hard, I get irritated, I get annoyed with her, and it creates this kind of antagonistic dynamic, which really isn't healthy for anybody. But if all she's doing is just getting me to put my running shoes on or my, workout clothes on, we just have to go there, and then Tony can be the bad guy. She's just saying, hey, let's do this together. Tony can be the bad guy. And now we're on the same side. He's pushing us. We get through the 45 minutes and we're done for the day. I don't do it every day. I think it's supposed to be like a 5-day-a-week program. Some of the workouts I like, some I don't, but the key is just to mix it up occasionally. And I will say that, the cool thing is, especially if you're doing this from home, you don't need to use P90X Plus. You can get this sort of push from lots of people that are just putting this information out there basically for free, maybe putting an ad at the beginning of the content. But there is all sorts of cycling channels that do interval training on YouTube. There's people that are doing body weight workouts on YouTube. The goal is really just to have someone push you outside of your comfort zone, get your heart rate up for 30 to 45 minutes. And YouTube can give you a lot of this for free. So I highly encourage you, what can I get for free, right? That's the type of optimized approach that I would encourage that you take. And yeah, I think this has got to be your new frame. You're not competing to be in the 0.001% of fitness of everybody in the world. I'm probably never going to run a triathlon. I'm never going to do a bodybuilding competition. That's just not something that I feel the need to work towards. It's not my priority. I'm not trying to have a competitive physique, but I am trying to be competitive in life. And the great thing is, it doesn't take nearly as much work to get this sort of physique that you can be proud of as it would to maybe go compete on stage or do something like that. We just need to be a little bit better than we were yesterday, it's kind of a cool thing. This is your life. This is your journey. What do you want to do with it? What is a story that you want to tell yourself about yourself? Is it that I was caught up on all the latest television shows, or I made decisions, even when they were hard, to position myself to be better in the future, better for myself, better for my family, better for my kids? All right, hope this was helpful. Hope you enjoyed it. Next week, we're gonna talk about recipes, specifically what am I actually doing currently to try to hit this 2 pounds per week, and how am I dealing with going to different events like Camp Fi, going to visit family, birthdays, holidays. What is the play there? How do you deal with the social pressure of cheating on your diet, especially when you're trying to accomplish something like what we're talking about in this abbreviated timeline? We're gonna explore that next week. Stay tuned. If you got value from the episode, press the subscribe button. Just lets us know that you're getting value from the show and you wanna be here when we produce the next episode. Thanks guys, have a great week.